Hey guys, how you doing? It's been quite a while since I've uploaded any videos, and I've got a boatload of requests, so I'm going to try to fill them this week. Sorry it's been so long, but anyway, this is my Eurycotis floridana, which is the Florida Skunk Roach, and these guys are, as you can see, they're pretty docile, and it's about an inch and a half, maybe, or so. It's an adult. I believe this is a male. Looks like it has Circean style. But the Florida Skunk Roach makes a defense odor that it gets its name from. They say that it stinks, but I think it smells just like almond extract or amaretto. I don't think it's offensive at all, but I can imagine if you were trying to eat this thing, it probably wouldn't taste the best. So I'm sure it works, otherwise they wouldn't have evolved with it. This container is kept at room temperature currently. I'm going to actually put them under a heat lamp, to kind of get it up a little bit. These guys do prefer warmer temperatures. I'm using egg flats right now just because I kind of ran out of the cork board and the cork bark and all that kind of stuff for a little bit. But I'm going to fill these up with that eventually and get them back in an appropriate kind of environment. I don't like using these egg crates because, I mean, this is so humid in this container. These are already soaked through, which kind of brings down the temperature as well. It's actually kind of cold to the touch, which isn't good. It slows them down metabolically and everything. So anyway, these guys are kept on the coconut fiber stuff. You see, it's not very thick because these guys don't actually burrow. It's only about 3/4 of an inch thick. But I feed them just like everything else. I feed them with the apple cores and the dog food to get them protein. And let's see if I can get this up here a little bit. There's a couple in here. There's not a whole lot right now. I'm working on getting the species back up. My original colony had gone the way of the dodo, unfortunately. So I just got a new colony in from Kyle at roachcrossing.com. He's a good guy. He has a lot of species. Very helpful whenever you need something. Anyway, I would advise keeping these around 85 degrees, above 80% humidity. I would suggest using the cork bark more so than the egg flats just because of the humidity level. But you want to keep them somewhat moist. You want to use a barrier. This has a real thin barrier of, I'm not sure if you can really see it. A little bit there, but a thin layer of Vaseline, because these can climb very well. The babies, the nymphs, they can climb super well across any barrier. I haven't had a whole lot of luck keeping them inside these sterlite bins, which this is a pretty small bin. It's only a 5.5 quart sized. I mean, these are like $3 at Walmart. Maybe a little bit more in your area. I'm not really sure. But they're cheap and easy to keep most cockroaches in, so I use them for pretty much everything. They're just a sterlite bin. And, they have locking lids, which is kind of nice. They just clip in like that. And that's kind of what I suggest, keeping everything in. Except for the ones with nymphs that can climb over a barrier. Unfortunately, these are. I'm not worried about them getting out right now because of the temperature. Once it heats up a little bit, it will be a little bit easier for them to cross over top of that, just because they're going to be a little more active. And plus, once the numbers of this colony increases, once they start laying a theca and whatnot, it's going to be a little bit overrun. So I'll have to figure out a different container, something that seals all the way around, and something that has some kind of gasket on it, and something that I can kind of drill or burn pinholes into. That way the nymphs can't get out, and I can still keep them humid, but with an airflow. If you keep them too humid, and unfortunately I've had this happen with my firefly mimics, I didn't have enough ventilation. I kept them too humid. My entire colony ended up basically drowning in the air. So I've learned very, very well from that mistake to keep a good bit of airflow inside of these containers that are perfectly sealed with gaskets. Otherwise, you can actually drown your entire colony, even though there's not water in the actual container. I've since gotten a new colony of the fireflies, and they're doing really well. So I will do an update video of them eventually, but I'm going to move on to a few other that I've gotten recently. So I'll see you guys in a bit.